Hey there, and thanks so much for taking a chance on this small channel. And a welcome back for episode 6 of our Comment of the Day episode here on the Lotus SMP. As always, we'll have some wonderful music running on in the background along with some cinematics, so feel free to leave this running along in the background and consider leaving a like on the video as well. And I must say, it is so incredible that we're already working on episode 7 of the Lotus SMP series. I've been having such a blast the entire time, really spending so much time in the server along with making these videos as well. And after this upcoming week's video, we're finally at the time for our first movie compilation, which is wild because it took me almost 7 months or so to get to a point where I was ready for a movie in the Hardcore Kingdom. And here we are almost 2 months in, and I have a movie's worth of content. I think it really just shows how much fun I've been having with everybody on the server, and I've really been able to just really let loose and enjoy myself amongst everybody else. And so we have big things in the works. I feel like I am now in my building era, and I really can't wait to show you everything else that I have planned for the next part of the Lotus SMP. But I say, let's hop into our first comment, our first question of the day, which comes from HDL_TW. Who asks, for every video you make, what are the expectations they must fulfill or achieve? And what are the unacceptable things that can make a video bad for you? And first of all, I just want to say that is such a wonderful question, and it's great to be introspective about what makes a video good or what makes a video meet expectations for me. And I would say that I think I'm going under a transition phase when it comes to my expectations on my Minecraft videos. And don't get me wrong, I don't think that I'm alone when I do say that I do have some external goals for my videos, but I think that they're not nearly as transient and as important to me as they used to be in the past. And what I mean by that is that even a couple months ago before the summer, I think that I really wanted to get like 500 views on a video at minimum. And I was almost using that as a factor of, well, if it doesn't get to that viewpoint, then it must not be a good video. And really allowing other people's ability to reach my videos and their, the data analytics about their retention and how they seem to perceive the video play such a crucial role in my personal evaluation of the creations that I had made. And over the last couple of months or so during the summer, I think that that's really changed for me. And the way that I'm going to explain it is a way that I always have taken doing school, and we'll talk about it later in the Q&A. I'm an elementary school teacher, but I've really always been someone that has been academically focused, and I love learning things and that sort of thing, but I never focused on the grade. I always focused about just really trying to get better and be proud of what I was doing. Being like, okay, well, I feel like I am understanding what the content that's being delivered to me. And then usually that reflected pretty well when it came to the tests and the assessments and that sort of thing, because I'd cared more about learning than I had about the grade. And so I hadn't tried to cut any corners, and I learned organically and with deliberation and, real intention. And so that really helped, and I could see the effects of my learning really well because I wasn't focused on how I did. I was just focused on how I was learning and getting better, and I could see myself getting better, and I was able to be so proud of that. And I think that over the summer, I've been able to do the same thing, where I've just really wanted to become a better builder, and I've wanted to be a better cinematographer within Minecraft, and become a better commentator as well. And so I've put a lot of time and energy in order to do that. And looking back, now that we're getting into the fall, I can see the difference, and I love looking back at my videos. And so I think that now the video before this most recent one only got 130 views. And I, in the past, would have been really upset and would have considered that a bad video. but it's actually one of my favorite videos that I've ever made because I can see the growth that I put into it, and I really like the product that came out of it. Part of the reason that I do YouTube is because I want to make the types of videos that I want to watch, and I'm so glad to have gotten to a point where I love watching my videos. And I don't really look at any of my recent videos at all, since maybe the hardcore movie, or I don't consider any of them bad. I just see them as kind of part of the growth pedestal. And I think that's really been helpful for me to just continue to enjoy the process, which is really important, as opposed to getting down about having a video not perform well and then have to work dog-heartedly and have, it running in the back of my mind, or, lower self-esteem for the period of time. As of recently, I haven't been afflicted by that because I've been really happy with what I've been producing. And so I think that in the back of your mind when you haven't produced to your utmost quality, when you're kind of just trying to get something out there. And when I look back at those videos and I realize that they could have been more intentional and there could have been more put into them, that's when I consider them a bad video by my standards. And usually what that means for me is that I haven't gone the extra step to just do cinematics. And then sometimes even just, could have done the cinematics with more fidelity as well. And so the hardcore guide, for any of you guys that have been on the channel for a while, will know that that's unlisted. You guys can see that, but it's not on my public page anymore. And part of the reason, although it was really informative and I took a lot of time to learn about the Minecraft mechanics in order to give a good guide, although I did all of that, I didn't have the cinematic quality touch that I think really makes my videos worthwhile and considerably good for me, if that makes sense. And I can look back at the old videos that might not have had the quality, but I can also remember the time and place that I was when making them and being like, well, okay, well, I tried my best, but the quality was the problem. The first ever hardcore video that I made that popped off and got 37,000 views a couple of years ago was the best that I could ever do, but it's not nearly as high quality as I can, and it's a great video. But then other videos that I've made more recently, even that, maybe I just could have done more with those, what I consider bad videos and what I don't necessarily show off, if that makes sense. Our next comment comes in from itisdv13, who asks, who inspired you to start making content? And I've talked about many different inspirations, and my inspirations when it came to starting to make Minecraft content and what I do now and my inspirations now have definitely changed. But when thinking about this question, there is one major inspiration that I don't talk about enough, and that is Kill a Drone. When I first started up my Minecraft channel, I ended up doing multiple seasons, 4 separate seasons actually, of hardcore Minecraft when I was trying to make a survival kingdom. And I'm sure that Flip was definitely an influence at the time, as he's always been for me. But Kill a Drone was making a series called The Survival Kingdom. And when I was starting off on YouTube, I knew that I didn't want to just do any normal Let's Play where I did different tasks and that sort of thing. I knew that I wanted to create a village and kingdom and city almost with infrastructure and different towns and have things that were connected and have a lot of depth behind the world to make it, a very livable, enjoyable, and satisfactory long-term world within hardcore Minecraft. And I was finally able to do it with success for Hardcore Season 3, which was wonderful. But Kill a Drone, his idea, I took it from him. He did it in survival mode, and I was like, this would be a great idea. Why don't I do the Hardcore Kingdom? And so I did that for years before I ever joined Lotus, which was only as of recently. And so he was a huge inspiration for me not only when it came to his builds, but just seeing the dedication that he was putting in, and then seeing how things could evolve over time, which is something that when I look back at my videos, I really love seeing the evolution of things and how things can change. And I think that I've gotten a lot of that from him. So he's a huge inspiration for me. Whip, of course, and then Mythical Sausage would be 3 big creators, I would say. Mythical Sausage in Empire Season 2, with his ability to tell a story through Minecraft cinematics, and that was very inspirational for me. So yeah, those are my top 3 big names, and I have tons and tons of inspirations nowadays, as I'm very intertwined and connected with the Minecraft community, which is so fun, I gotta say. Our next comment comes in from Belina Cookie, who asks, when will you hit 10K? Then thank you so much for your support. You've been here for a very long time, and my best response to that is just gonna have to be when the time is right. I am so happy. I consider myself successful on YouTube already. Of course, I'm raising the bar for myself, but I'm so happy with where I'm at. And so when the time is right, it'll happen. And then it'll be time to raise the bar once again. But I'm going to enjoy where I'm at. And I think that one thing that I've thought about over the last year or so is that, you can only be small and new and so enthralled with all of the enamoring things that come with doing Minecraft content creation and meeting new people and seeing people really take a chance on you and that sort of thing, is that, people are really actually invested. And it's when you've already done it forever and you're already at 50K or 100K or whatever, I think it's easier to lose the fact that these are real people here that are, taking a chance, and this is something special. And if you want to do this for a very long time, which is what I want to do, that beginner's phase and that new to everything and getting better and that skill treadmill that you see the training, the newbie gains, pick off and, see the success as it happens in such a quick way and understand the significance of it. That only happens once. And so I've really been enjoying where I'm at, and man, it'd be a dream to hit 10K. It was a dream. When I started Minecraft, I never really thought about hitting 10K. I only thought about, wow, what if I could make a Minecraft channel and hit 1K? And here we are at over 3 times that, and I'm loving it. So it'll happen when the time is right, and I'll be ready for it when it happens too. Our next comment of the day comes in from Etat, who asks, question for the next Q&A. You've got so much wisdom and seem to always have really good advice to our questions. But what are some of the things that you struggle with? Feel free to just throw out a few concepts, or if you just want to dive into one of your biggest struggles. Up to you, whatever you're comfortable sharing. And thanks so much for the compliment, Etat. I really appreciate it, and I really do want to be transparent that I'm still really trying to figure out this whole thing too, this whole life thing, and no one's alone in that struggle. One thing that I came across a couple years ago was a wonderful YouTube video about whose measuring stick are you comparing your life to? And it was a man in his 20s, just like I'm in my 20s, asking another man in his 50s about, how do you feel about where you're at in life and what are the things that you struggle with? And the response from the older men was that, I'm always still trying to figure it out. And there's always things that I wish that I would be better at, or, at a different place in life with, and have more, maybe in more balance, or be able to do with more fidelity, or just with more quality, or be able to dedicate myself more to in a way that I'm hindered because of my own vices and that sort of thing. And I think it's important to realize that you're measuring your life by your own measuring stick, and it's important to really realize what you, are working through and that sort of thing. And so I really appreciate this question. as well. And, again, out of transparency, I'm not alone with struggling with tons of different things. And I have mental health dips from time to time. And, I can struggle with self-esteem and confidence from time to time as well. And so the biggest thing for me, I would say, is having too rigid and dedicated of a routine. For me, when I was young, and I believe in your adolescence being very formative for your adulthood, and I'm, in my early adulthood at the moment, I came across a book that I highly recommend as well, called How to Live the Good Life, the ancient joy or the ancient something of Roman Stoicism. And Stoicism is a philosophy that is about what can you control, what is in your locus of control. Again, when it comes to the views, those are out of my control, but I can control how much effort and how much dedication and intentionality that I place into a video and that sort of thing. But among the Roman philosophers, there's also the idea that I highly subscribe to, that time is the most important thing. And money is not the most important thing for me. Makes sense, me being a teacher. But time really is. And so for me, I make sure that all of my time and energy is accounted for at all times. And that's a really good thing, because I always have something to do and I'm feeling fulfilled with everything that I am doing. And it's very rewarding to see that, the output, I guess, and to be reflective and proud of myself. I think I'm really good about being proud of all the things that I do and how well I'm able to juggle all the different things that I'm able to do. But there's inherent sacrifices when it comes to doing that. And I am very, very bad about being social nowadays, in particular, like going out and just wasting time, which doesn't sound right, because I think the older you get, the more you realize that those moments where you do break out of your routine and try new things and push yourself out of your comfort with other people and share experiences together, I think that is more and more important the older that you get. And so for me, it's great that I can be really proud of myself for everything that I do. I work multiple jobs and I do multiple YouTube channels. I exercise every single day, and I spend a lot of time out of my normal working hours in order to be the best that I can be for the children that I serve as a teacher. And so all of those things are really important to me. And I'm able to, I really see that I make an impact. And I think it's really, important and satisfying to make an impact in the world. But as a result, I've gotten very good about saying no to things that I just don't deem as productive in the fulfilling aspect, where sometimes, a stoic idea is that sensory pleasures will not outweigh the fulfillment that you'll get from doing hard work and really pushing yourself. And so that's true, and I really feel that with my own personal life, but the spectrum is almost flipped now, in that it is harder for me because I am so dedicated and strapped with time and lost with everything that I'm doing, to break up the routine and to not be intentional with my time. Like, I'm so intentional with my time. It's so important to me, and everything is dialed down to the minute, really, in a way that I get a lot of efficiency and pleasure out of. But at the same time, it's really important in life to take a break and to switch it up and to try new things and to just not have to be intentional, right? There's moderation in everything, including moderation. And although I'm a subscriber that, and I do really believe this, I've seen it through experience, that when you're able to switch up the work and continue to do different types of work that give you fulfillment, you end up finishing the day so fulfilled. And I think I've struggled recently with having so much more fulfillment out of all the things that I do, that kind of just kicking back and going out to like have a drink or go out to dinner or to just do something that isn't regarding all the things that I always invest my time in. I think that it's very easy for me to just say no and to not be inclined to want to do those things anymore. And that's not necessarily a good thing, because you do want to have someone be like, hey, you want to go to this baseball game tonight? And be like, yeah, and then have a wonderful time. Or have someone be like, hey, let's go hang out at the pool today, or let's go out to lunch, or go for a hike, and all those sorts of things. But when I'm so planned and intentional with my time, and so strapped with my time, in particular, some of it being self-imposed, my rigidity can make it so that I am not as good with maintaining real life friendships as I should be, if that makes sense. And I'm very lucky that, although I'm very bad at that, and a lot of people know how intentional I am with my time, I have people that reach out and want to hang out all the time. But, there's part of me that looks back and I think everyone has regrets from time to time. And for me, who knows, I could regret being in my 20s and having declined so many of those invitations, because I had thought that, and I do feel like this is more important to me. And so I'd rather not squander my time. But who knows, I could look back at old age and be like, well, you squandered your time the most when you didn't say yes to those things. And I probably am not alone in that, but that's really the biggest thing that afflicts me, and it definitely can be pervasive. Tons of invites. I work a very social job, and the good thing is that most people like to hang out with me and want to hang out with me, although I never reach out, and so I'm lucky to have that in my life. But I do know that could also flip, and just in an instant, and I could be stuck in a situation where I don't have any of that outreach, and I've lost the community that I take for granted, right? So that's worth sharing. And it's up to me to work on it, right? It's my responsibility for sure. Our next comment comes in from Break the Net, who asks, how many other YouTube channels do you have that aren't under the branding of Slip? Well, that's a kind of a hard question. I would say that I have maybe 2 now. When I was a kid, I always loved rap music myself, and my dad wouldn't allow for me to have the explicit rap music on my phone. And so my brother and I would always download rap music songs, but the clean versions. And I loved the song Gold Digger by Kanye West. And so I was inspired to make a lyric video, because I would sit in front of my computer back in the day. I didn't have a cell phone. And I'd be at home, and I would, my mom would be out at the gym or something like that, and I would put all the speakers on in the house and just blast rap music out. And I really loved that song. And so, but I realized when I looked it up that there weren't any lyric videos on YouTube at the time. This was 12 or 13 years ago, maybe. And I ended up deciding, because I have always had an interest in making videos, to make lyric videos. And so I ended up doing that. And then later on that channel, I ended up making little shenanigans with my friends when I was in elementary school, when I was in 5th and 6th grade. Kind of just little funny videos. I just had gotten an iPhone. Actually, I didn't even have an iPhone, but my best friend did. And so we had a ton of fun just kind of hanging out in my front yard and at school on the playground, making little skits and spoofs and that sort of thing. So I have that video channel from back in the day. but I don't use it or anything like that. And then I work for an energy bar company called Patter Bar, and I run social media for them on top of working the farmers markets. And so I run their social media, including their YouTube channel. So I have that channel too, but that's just business professional. And then I have my YouTube channels under the name of Slip. Our next comment comes in from Ramperiaka Ruppin. And I'm sorry if I was unable to pronounce your name so greatly. I hope you forgive me for that. And they ask, why do you use AI thumbnails? My brain tells me that something I shouldn't click. No offense. And no offense taken whatsoever. I only use AI thumbnails on my second channel videos or on my live streams. And there's a reason for that. I work multiple jobs and I juggle a lot. And if you want to be able to kind of promote content and spread it out and be useful with the content that you make, the best way to do that efficiently and be able to do that on a consistent timeline, the being a YouTuber is a constant treadmill, and the more that you take on with other channels, you're taking on even more to be consistent with. You don't have to be, but many of us, including myself, place a lot of hopes and dreams and aspirations and standards for consistency, I would say. And I like to be able to live stream and hang out with you guys, along with have a Q&A on the second channel. I will say that as of recently, my videos have been all my own thumbnail design, both on the first and the second channel. It's only live streams that have been AI design. And then if a thumbnail ever performs badly and I don't have the time to hop back into the world and make a new thumbnail for it, or maybe I've deleted the world or the footage for it and that sort of thing, then I can hopefully rely on a plan B for a thumbnail that uses AI. And so that's very helpful and very efficient for me. And then when it comes to making a stream, it's great to have a consistent thumbnail style that kind of stands out and be able to do that quickly. That's 3 different thumbnail designs a week. And if you want them to really stand out, that takes a lot of your time. And so the ability to do that more efficiently is really helpful for me and for the people that really do like the most important thing, in my personal opinion, that is the quality and the energy that is in the packaged video itself, or the packaged stream itself. I really do try to give you guys my best energy as much as I can. That's where people will be like, oh wait, yeah, that's the Slip's live stream. He's live right now. Or, oh yeah, that's a good video. That's from Slip. He's probably going to put his best foot forward in that video. And I recognize it. And so for the people that understand that, they, I hope, are able to look past the AI thumbnails. And that's the reason that I personally am okay with using them. I won't use them on the main channel for the most part. And there's definitely something to be said about doing thumbnails yourself. But sometimes you also have to work smarter and not harder. And in order to do all the things that I do, I have to work as smart with my time as I can. Our next comment comes in from Indiana Animates, who asks, why did you become a teacher? And do your students know that you have a channel? And I'm going to answer to the second part of the question first. Yeah, my students know that I have a Minecraft channel. I had all of my students come for a meet and greet this past Friday, and part of my About Me slides with my photos of myself and whatnot were one of the photos that I have in the Lotus SMP of one of my first builds. And one of the bullet points was that I have a family-friendly YouTube channel. And so I let the kids know that. They think it's really cool. And it makes me proud. The reason that I'm so open with it nowadays is that I have been doing this for years now, and I used to not tell anybody. But then I had a fellow coworker, another teacher at the school that I work at, who's a wonderful musician and makes incredible music. I showed him one of my videos, and again, family friendly. It's okay for the kiddos to watch as long as their parents are okay with Minecraft content in general, right? Not all parents are going to be okay with that, depending on the age of their kids, and that's more than okay and up to their parent, right? Uh, yeah, it's up to their discretion. But it's I realized when he ended up asking, he's like, "Hey, can I show it to the kids?" And I was like, "Yeah, you can do that." And he explained why. He's like, "You and I, we work really hard at this job, but we also have other loves in life when it comes to creativity and artistic pursuits." And I know that when I was a kid, I always kind of thought that my teachers kind of just lived at school. And I know that a lot of kids actually really do kind of think that they can't differentiate between a teacher as a person, that does other things yet. And it's cool and inspiring for kids because kids love Minecraft, to see that you can do something that you love during your 9 to 5 and get so much pleasure and value and fulfillment out of doing, good things and doing important work. But you can also have other, pursuits and loves in life. And, that's really inspirational to kids in a way that they might not even recognize until later on, when they're like, "Oh, wait, yeah, what about that teacher that I had that had that Minecraft channel?" And all that sort of things. Like, I can work full time and try to do it. He did it too. And so that's really cool. I'm in elementary school, so numbers for kids are relatively different to how we understand numbers as adults in the millions and that sort of thing. But a million for a young kid is a huge number. And so even having 1,000 subscribers is a massive number for a lot of younger kids. And so they just think it's cool, and I am really proud of what I do. And I'm not ashamed of it. I was going to say anymore, and I think I'm going to say anymore. I think that I hid from it for a very long time. But yeah, they know that I have a channel. And why did I become a teacher? I've always wanted to become a teacher. For me, I always knew that I wanted to make an impact, and I could always see myself in the position of the teachers that I loved, and they were so informative and inspirational to me. And I had a specific elementary school teacher that completely changed my life and really challenged me to think deeply and to really put my best foot forward and try to be out of the box and be okay with who I was. And that was really helpful for me at a very young age. And teachers do a lot more than just teach the content. They really, can make an impact. And I think many people can remember the huge impact of a good teacher in their life. And a lot of people can remember the impact of a bad teacher in their life. And knowing how transformative the teachers to me have been in my life makes me want to be able to pass that forward and to set our next generation up for success. And our last comment of the day comes in from Tryan Rahan, who asks, "What mod pack do you use?" And I use the Lotus SMP mod pack, which is maybe the cleanest and most efficient mod pack that I've ever encountered. Limited experience here, but I've tried to make my own mod packs plenty of times in the past, but the one that we have has everything that I could ever want and works really smoothly. And so I'm very happy to have it. I don't think I can share it. I'm sorry about that. But it's really wonderful. And I'm happy that I have it, I gotta say. And to all of you, if you've gotten to this point in the video, thank you so much for taking a chance on this guy here. Some of you may know that I worked a 23-hour day on Friday in order to get a video out for you all on the main channel. And here I am the next day, Saturday night, really, putting my best foot forward. And I really appreciate you taking the chance on me. I will see you all next week. Don't, consider leaving a comment down if you'd like to have a question answered for next week. And I will see you all very soon.